Hey everyone, thanks for joining another episode of Lunch Breaks with John. I'm John, your host, and today I'm going to be talking about some of my favorite things. And I'm also going to be eating lunch on this video, so I just wanted to give you guys a little trigger warning, a little heads up, just in case you guys are sensitive to, or if you don't like hearing gross chewing sounds or crunching and things like that. I'll try not to make it too gross for you guys, but I just want to give you that little warning out the gate. And also I just want to remind you guys, please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Be sure to hit that thumbs up and like this video and comment if there's anything that you want to add to this. I'm going to be talking about some of my favorite things, so if you have any thoughts on those, or if you have favorite things that you want to list in the comments, you're welcome to do that as well. But I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to get my lunch, just show you guys what I'm eating here for lunch today. First off, I got a wrap here. It's normally I do like some kind of regular lunch meat, like ham and cheese or turkey and cheese or things like that. Recently I bought from Sam's Club like a little pepperoni and salami mix of lunch meats, and that's been pretty good. But my wife made some grilled chicken for dinner last night and we had some leftover, so that's actually what I put in this wrap this morning. And I also have some Miss Vicky's jalapeno chips. They're very good, very crunchy, so just letting you know. And then got some Jello here too. Raymundo's, I guess is what it's called. But I'm gonna be eating some of that. It's like a peach Jello or something, I think, maybe. But while I'm eating and stuff like that, also my drink here that I have today, just, it's not a sponsor or anything, but I'm drinking a Coke Zero Sugar. It tastes pretty good. It's still not as good as regular Coke, but it's I think about as close as you can get without having the actual sugar in it. So, but yeah. So this episode is about favorite things anyway. So I'm going to be starting with my favorite color, which my favorite color is blue, if you haven't guessed that already. Probably most of the shirts that you see me wearing on here are blue. I'm pretty sure blue has been my favorite color since I was probably about 4 or 5 years old or something like that. I don't remember exactly, but I haven't been one of those people that change favorite colors every few years or anything like that. But if you are, well, that's okay. But I've always liked the color blue. It's always been my favorite. This is some good Jello, guys. But yeah, it's that's been my favorite color for a long time. My favorite food is steak. And I think I need to clarify on that, because everyone likes their steak a little bit different. Some people like theirs extremely well done. Some like theirs rare or medium rare. They like it nice and bloody, or nice and juicy and everything like that, with still like red or a purple color to it. I honestly can't eat it that way. If it's cooked anything less than medium, then I have to send it back, because I just can't handle the texture of however it feels whenever it's like still very red on the inside and stuff like that. As long as it's just pink and there's not much redness to it, then I'm okay with it. And I used to be the type of person that would only eat my steak well done, or at least like medium well, but over the years I've kind of got to where I can eat it more. I prefer more of a medium level of cooking on my steak, so that's how I prefer it. My wife likes to eat medium rare steak, but that's just too much red for me to handle in my steak. Also, I love my steak with mashed potatoes, maybe broccoli, something like that. Those just seem to go really well together. Sometimes asparagus, that goes really good with steak too. Steak's been my favorite food for a very long time. It's just amazing. I don't think it'll ever not be my favorite food. Now I'm going to talk about my favorite show and eat some more of my food while we're talking about it. But my favorite TV show, this one was kind of a hard one to think about, because There's just a lot of really good shows out there. But I think the one that I've rewatched the most, actually, no, I don't think, I know that the one that I've rewatched the most is The Office. It's just a hilarious show. Michael Scott on there, played by Steve Carell, never gets old. My wife can't stand him, but I love his character on there. He's so funny and very cringy, but it's a funny cringy, and I just love watching that show. I love the pranks between Jim and Dwight and their little feud that they have going on. Just overall, it's a really good show. There definitely are parts of the show that are hard to watch, or that just get a little bit annoying, especially in the last season. But overall, that show's a really good show and has incredible actors and everything like that, and it's just hilarious. I haven't watched it in a couple of years, so I'm probably due for rewatching it here soon. If you haven't watched The Office, I definitely recommend that you would watch that, because it's just great. You'll understand so many of the if you haven't seen it, you probably are missing out on a lot of inside jokes that or memes and stuff on the internet and things like that. There's just so many good quotes on there, and so many funny quotes and different things, and it'll just make your life so much better if you watch that show. I know I talked about my favorite food earlier, so now I'm going to go ahead and talk about my favorite drink, which is not Coke Zero, and it's not Coke either. It's actually Dr. Pepper, and I think I've probably said that on one of these episodes before too, but Dr. Pepper's been a favorite of mine since a very young age, probably since before I can remember. I think actually, I don't know if this was on a home video or not. When I was really young, my dad had a camcorder, and he would record videos of us as kids and stuff like that. And I don't know if this was on one of those or not, but there was one time when we were on a vacation, I think visiting my grandparents in Arizona, and we had a cooler, and I think I actually remember this. I was probably 3 or 4 years old at the time, but I kept asking my dad for Dr. Pepper, and he was like, "No, you can just have some water." And in all honesty, yeah, that's probably what I needed, but I kept asking for Dr. Pepper, and I just knew that there had to be some Dr. Pepper in that cooler. Maybe there wasn't, but something was telling me that there was. So, but I've always loved Dr. Pepper. I just wish it was healthier for me, because it really isn't that good for you, but it's such a good drink though. It just tastes amazing, and there's nothing really that compares to it. Next on the list would be my favorite movie, and I think this one was even harder for me to pick than favorite TV show. Because I have so many movies that I would say are in my top 5 or top 10 movies, and I mean, there's just a lot of really good movies out there, but I think I would probably have to say it's a tie between the movie Shooter with Mark Wahlberg, and then there's the movie Gladiator with Russell Crowe, and and I'm for my third one, I'm going to say Avengers. And I know there's 4 different Avengers movies. They're all really good. I think the first one, just the original Avengers, and Avengers Endgame were my favorites. But if I had to pick one, I would say the original Avengers, just because of the nostalgia and everything like that of the first movie of all those superheroes teaming up and stuff like that. It just had a really good story and really good acting, and it was just altogether such a really good movie. But I love all of those movies, and yeah, with Shooter, that was just that was a movie that I loved as a teenager, as an older teenager. When I first saw that, I just fell in love with it instantly. Has a really good story. Maybe a little bit exaggerated on how accurate Bob Lee Swagger can shoot. He's a sniper, or like an ex-Marine sniper, but it has a really good story to it, and really good acting and everything. I just love that movie. And then Gladiator is definitely one of my favorites too. Well, first of all, I think Russell Crowe is one of the greatest actors of all time. He's one of my favorite actors, and just that story is amazing. I love it's not 100% based on a true story, but some of the events were kind of based off of true stories, and I just really like that story. It's just, and it just has an amazing soundtrack to that movie. Everything about the movie was just really good. So yeah, those are my favorite movies. I can't pick just one, I'm sorry, but I kind of feel like I'd be betraying the other ones if I said that. So but yeah, those are all some of my favorite movies. And I know I mentioned that steak was my favorite food. We're going to be talking about my favorite restaurant now. And since you know that steak is my favorite food, it only makes sense that my favorite restaurant would be a steakhouse. So Texas Roadhouse, I'm just going to say that that's probably my favorite restaurant. They got really good steaks for a decent price. And I just really like that restaurant. We got one about maybe 10 or 15 minutes from where we live. I wish we could go there more often, but but I would probably be broke if I went there as much as we wanted to. But I love that place. Usually I think I order like a house salad as one of my sides, and then I order mashed potatoes and gravy, and then a steak. I usually order it like medium. But their house salads are really good. I'm not a person that grew up eating a lot of salads, but I've started liking salads more over the past maybe five or 6 years or something like that. Well, maybe a little bit longer, but yeah, I really like their salads. Are amazing. Their food in general is amazing, and they got really good prices too. So if you've never been to Texas Roadhouse, check one of them out. They're really good. And then the next one that I have is my favorite store, which this one was pretty easy for me, but I did want to mention two different stores, because one of them, which is probably actually my all-time favorite, but I don't know if there's any of them that are still open, and it's called Hastings. I'm sure some of you know what I'm talking about. There used to be one in my hometown of Cape Girardeau, Missouri, and they closed down probably about 10 or 12 years ago or something like that. Then there was, when I moved to Arkansas, there was like 3 different Hastings stores within probably a 45-minute drive of where I was living when I moved there. And now there are none that I don't even know if there's any left in the whole state of Arkansas. They closed down one by one, and it's just really sad that they're gone. But they were a really good store. They had movies, video games, books. They had music. They had like different, like, I don't know, they had all kinds of pop culture, action figures and toys and gadgets and just all kinds of different stuff. Any kind of memorabilia stuff, or different types of things like that. But it was a really good store. I really miss it. One of my all-time favorites. And corporate people out there, if you're watching this, please bring back Hastings. Bring some back to Arkansas. Even if there's just one, if you bring it to Little Rock or something like that. But we need Hastings. But anyway, of favorite stores that are actually around, I would have to say Target. Just because they're a really good store. They have almost not quite everything that you might need. They're not as big as Walmart, but it seems like their quality sometimes might be a little bit better. especially like in their clothes and stuff like that. And it's just a really nice, fun store to be in. So I would have to say Target. I wanted to also talk about my favorite hobbies, and I think that this is going to be another twofold answer because I love playing video games. That's one of my favorite hobbies, but I also love hiking or camping. I guess I'm just going to say hiking because I don't go camping all that much, but I do love to go hiking and camping. Love the outdoors and just going and experiencing nature and everything like that. And then I love video games too. They're just really fun things to do when you have the time to do them. It's hard to get the time to do that sometimes these days, but yeah, those are my favorite hobbies. And then my favorite season, I would have to say fall. It's definitely between fall and spring, but I think I like fall just a little bit better. I just love the colors of everything, the leaves changing colors and everything like that. I love going from kind of hot, warm weather in summer to cooler weather. It's just always so refreshing and nice to get a little bit of cooler weather. But yeah, fall is a great season for a multitude of reasons, but I don't think I have to list those things here. And then, and speaking of, I haven't done my Halloween movie recommendation for this episode. I'll do that once I finish my last. I think I have one more favorite to list, and then I'm going to list my Halloween movie recommendation. But my favorite animal this is the last favorite that I have on here. My favorite animal is going to be a tiger. And, some people might say, well, is it like a Siberian tiger, Bengal tiger? I don't know. I just like tigers. I like all tigers, all colors, white tigers, orange tigers. They're just all awesome. And I just think they're really amazing, beautiful creatures. And I would love to own one, but it's probably not safe to own one and probably costs a ton of money. So maybe one day if I become rich someday or something like that, but it's probably not going to happen anytime in the near future. But guys, that's been all my favorites. I mean, not all my favorites, but I picked about 10 different things to talk about, some of my favorite things. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Now, don't click away because I still have to make that Halloween movie recommendation. But before I go there, I just want to remind you guys to comment if you had any thoughts or anything about my favorite things that I mentioned on here or anything like that. I just always appreciate you guys' comments and love hearing your feedback. So be sure to do that. Now I'll go ahead and talk about another Halloween movie recommendation. And most of the ones that I've talked about on here have been a little bit more for, at least for older kids or teenagers or adults, not really very much for kids or whatever. So I'm going to go ahead and do a kids movie recommendation for Halloween, and that's going to be the movie Hotel Transylvania. That movie's really good. It stars Adam Sandler as I think as Dracula. He plays Dracula on there. It's like a 3D animated movie. Really good, just hilarious and funny, good story and everything like that. And I really liked it. I think you'll like it. It's just a good movie and good for the family to watch. You don't have to worry so much about language or other inappropriate stuff like that. It's pretty good for most people to watch, I would say. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for this episode. Just remember to follow me on Facebook and Instagram. It's at John's Lunch Break. And then you can email me at johnslunchbreak@gmail.com. And make sure, as always, make sure you subscribe, that you like this video, and hit that bell notification too, just so you don't miss any videos in the future or anything like that. But anyway, I hope you guys have a good rest of your weekend. Thank you for watching, and enjoy this weather we're having. I hope that you're having nice weather wherever you're at. And until next time, I'll see you on the next episode of Lunch Breaks with John. Have a good one.